Welcome to another episode of Through the Portal, where we give you a look at what's on the other side. I'm Garrett, and this is Ridge. We're going to talk today a little bit about a recent event in Pasay. We had a Clashground event in the Philippines, and getting ready to have one in Las Vegas this week. So, what was your kind of first thoughts on Pasay?
I thought it was super fun to see the outcome. Diverse group of contenders that competed, quite a few competitors. The scene over there continues to grow, and I think it's on the right track.
Yeah, I think we saw 53 different players in the event, which those 53 brought 15 different contenders, which pretty good spread. Of those 15, or of the 53 people there, we saw 25% of the field show up playing a bounty contender. So what do you think about the bounties? How did that go?
Bounties are fun. Seeing Lynn, Conquest, Pestilence, Moxie, and Flare enter the field was really fun. The feedback that we heard was that players really had a great time playing those. Got to see some new deck builds on it, and I think it's a fun little shake-up to all of our events.
Yeah, I think it was interesting to see the bounties, not only the feedback, but just their finishes in the event. So we had bounty players of the 5 finished 18th, 19th, 30th, 32nd, and 43rd. So pretty good spread. A couple people were, one win away from pushing that top 8 with some contenders that I think people thought those aren't playable in a major event. But those people might have proved that wrong. I'm curious to see how that's going to carry over. I know we've heard a lot of feedback on bounties. What'd you hear about that?
Overall, good addition. I think the players that were there and the players that are going to be playing in future events think it's a good addition, and so we want to lean more into the bounty side of things because I think it shakes up people's experiences because we want to be both a fun and competitive game, and if you can get rewarded for playing the things that you want to play instead of maybe the ultra meta, a lot of good things can be had there.
Yeah. We got a lot of feedback. They sent us some videos of just people talking about their experience. Obviously, getting messages on Discord, on Facebook, whatever, and it's been like 100% positive feedback about the bounties. I think as we made some recent announcements just about the shift in competitive play, like we are a fun and competitive trading card game, and our events are going to make sure it's a good blend of both of those things. I think there was some I'm not so sure about that. Have you guys really thought about what you're doing with that? I don't know about fun and competitive, but all the feedback was super positive, which obviously we love to hear. Curious how that's going to go rolling into Las Vegas this weekend. How about just overall the event on the constructed side, not even just the bounties, but we also had the first time we had an event card in play somewhere in Pasay. What do you think about that and how that affected?
Everyone thought that Genesis wasn't playable, but then Genesis came through. It was Sam that won it.
Sam Parks.
He had a nice Genesis build, figured it out. So that was really cool to see. But also the top 8 was really diverse.
Yeah, we saw 4 different contenders represented in the top 8. Maybe 5. 5 different contenders in the top 8, I think it was. But we had Genesis, Torque, Krung, Death, and Warcry. So we had 5 different people in the top 8. There was a couple of Genesis, and they happened to play each other first round of the top cut, Melvin and Sam, who have collectively won, I think, every event in Asia so far. Melvin won several at the beginning. Sam won the most recent Pro Tour, and then took out Melvin to move his way to the finals here, where he actually faced Warcry in the finals, which I think the American players or people in the rest of the world might be surprised to see Warcry
in the finals. And I think that was inspired by Jacob Snodgrass's Warcry build.
Yeah, I think a red-white Warcry from last year.
Unrivaled meta.
Yeah, so a Clashground from last year, pre-Pro Tour. But they had to go through on that other side of the deck. The Krung and Death players and everybody was all kind of bundled up on the same side to get through to the finals, and Warcry pushed through. So Do you think that's going to, as people see these top 8 decks and all these different contenders doing really well, how do you think that's going to affect Las Vegas?
Well, one, Philippines typically plays Alpha Clash just a little bit different than the US. So, just from a deck building standpoint, I think it's going to be even more different. Plus, the US players will get the opportunity to see what was played and what worked and what didn't work there. So, I would think that the decks will be more diverse than
Right.
what you might expect. So, again, with like the new event cards somewhere in Pasay, somewhere in Las Vegas, I don't even know what to expect, outside of the bounties. And I definitely didn't expect Genesis to make it to the finals there, just with the shakeup of things. So someone figured it out. There was also like a diminish
Yeah.
Genesis deck
Yeah,
that,
Melvin played a Diminish deck, which we haven't seen Diminish show up competitively yet, but he made it to the top 8. Unfortunately, ran into Sam, who the champion knocked him out in the top 8, but it was a diminished Genesis deck, which I don't think we've seen that
haven't really seen
at
much
all.
diminish.
Yeah,
But with the Lin bounty,
right.
might be some fun stuff there.
Could be. Could be. We're excited to see what shows up somewhere in Las Vegas this weekend. Like I said, Ridge and I will both be in attendance. You'll see Josh, you'll see Al, you'll see Josiah, you'll see Mike,
Yep.
and hopefully a bunch of other clashers there this weekend.
Pre-release on Friday.
Yeah, speaking of Vegas, we got Set 5 Equilibrium comes out March 28th worldwide. And with that, the technical world premiere is Friday in Las Vegas, where the pre-release will happen on Friday. How do you think this set shakes out with pre-release? Like, how does a sealed event work with Equilibrium?
Yeah, I could see it a few different ways. I mean, if you're gonna get like Alpha Aster as your contender, or if you're gonna choose him, it probably depends on what you pull in your deck. Same with Clarity, um, Paul Avenging Guy, Major Dean. I mean, there's a lot of options. I
Yeah.
really don't know what's gonna kind of you know rise through the top of the pre-release event, but I think that people's packs will help guide their choices, and
hmm
then we'll see.
I think people are going to be surprised by some of the contenders
Yeah,
in Equilibrium. We've played it enough to know. A couple of them even surprised me as I play back through the cards and what might actually be meta. I have a great time every set that's releasing, just hearing everybody, this contender's awesome, this contender's terrible, this is going to be meta. And like we have thousands of games of playtesting and data and things to stand on, but even our playtesting crew and development crew, they don't find everything. They don't see everything. We see stuff pop up sometimes for the first time. But I always like to see like what do people think is going to be meta and how right are you? And sometimes they're on the nose and sometimes it's wildly off from
yeah.
what actually happens.
I'd like to poll everyone just to see who will win the pre-release event, which contender. That could be a good poll, and then see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should. Do you want to give something away?
Yeah.
On the spot, just giveaway. How about if you like, subscribe, and comment down below which Set 5 Equilibrium contender do you think is going to be meta? Which do you think is going to be the most powerful, kind of redefine the meta? And let's give away a pre-release kit.
This will be yours. This one in my hand is
Not
the one we're going to ship.
not that one. That one's mine.
Oh,
We'll get you another one, or you can have mine.
You might get this.
But comment below on this video which contender you think it is, and we'll get with you and be happy to give that away. But what else you got for me?
I mean, I think that's it for now, but we got a lot more content coming soon.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing many of you somewhere in Las Vegas.